Today, chat. Round one's going to be TimTheTatman taking on JoshOG and Hiko taking on Summit in Group A. These matches will happen simultaneously. We'll watch one of them, but again, there's going to be actually 4 matches in total happening all at the same time because we got round 1 here of Group A, and then as we take a look over at Group B, there's some more matches happening over there. That TimTheTatman JoshOG match, I just want to watch that one. That one looks pretty hilarious. But I feel like Summit maybe is the favorite here of Group A. But it's so hard to pick because we take a look at Group B. Amunition is going to be taking on B-Nans. We'll have Amunition and B-Nans, usually teammates, now team captains facing off against each other in round 1. That's going to be crazy. Miss Harvey and Jake and Bake live as well. Imagine listening to an IRL streamer. They better not. Miss Harvey, it's got too much Counter-Strike. That first game, here we go. On board with the 1G himself, Summit on your screen. His team is currently trailing by 3, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's got Sean Garris on his team. Like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was literally looking at the lineup, and he's got Shazam, Sean Garris, JoshOG, you know, like Lex. Like these are all really good CS players. So I may have, you know, maybe I just highlighted them over because, you know, I just don't want to go for the typical response, right? Golden Boy doesn't go for the typical response. If anything, I'm anything other than typical. So that's why I went the direction I did. But dude, this is nuts. And who they're going to be playing against right now, as a matter of fact, 'cause that's what I'm trying to figure out here.
They were their round 1 matchup was against Slide Over, please document Hiko. So Hiko's team will be they'll be up against Skadoodle, Nothing, dude. Rax, and AZK. So
this game's nuts.
This is just like the kind of pickup game that you just want to see on one of their streams, you know, like with some great names in CS, some great names in just competitive gaming in general. This is it. I'm actually kind of shocked that they're down 4-1. Well, I was shocked that they were down 4-1, but then we found out who they were down 4-1 against, and now it just makes a little bit more sense.
Clean. I mean, Hiko and Nothing on one team is scary enough, and then you look at just who's around them, and it just becomes even more terrifying. But Summit does go down, and that's going to be 5-1. You can see a little bit on the economy there. It does look like on Summit's team, people are going to have to be buying for each other, or they have to collectively eco here. Summit has 5,600, so he's got enough to full buy, but the rest of the squad don't. So realistically, he should be saving, or he should be dropping maybe a pistol to someone else.
And there's also someone pushing short.
Yeah, and you're going to also be loaded up with ults too. You got 4 ultimates for Summit's team. Then we go over to Skadoodle.
One cross.
All right, he's going to have the op looking down A long. Sees the target. That was the Sage.
One cross for sure.
Doesn't get anything out of that one.
Too long, eh?
But knows that the Sage will potentially be suicide.
2 pass.
A pickup there from Summit from it. I think that was the oh my goodness, the marksman of their own. The Marshall. I keep saying marksman. The Marshall.
Trying to come in.
Brimstone ult or Breach ult has been popped, and I think Viper's Pit was played as well. Team Hiko though looking a little down at the dumps here as Brax is going to be pushing around. Does manage to find one around the corner, looking for the guy that could be coming up through sewers here, perhaps. The last player left alive going to be a Raze, and that's going to be the winning round for Brax and Team Hiko. They go up 6-1, and 2 Razes. 2 Razes. I'm actually kind of surprised about that.
This is what we wanted to see. This is the content that we subscribe for. We want people to be playing the new agent because I want to see what she can do in the hands of some of the best players around.
I'm telling you, Raze has got that orange hat. It's the key to being good at these games.
Summit has his all.
You know what? You may be right. You may be right. You, unlike Dan, you're right more like than 4 times a year. So I think this could work out.
I don't know. I think I'm wrong more often as well. So I just giving more opinions doesn't make you more right.
Fair enough.
Look at this aggressive push, though. Out from C. They've gained the information that no one's going to be here, so now they can communicate and say they are either going to be pushing A or they're going to be pushing heavy through B. They have found one on C doors. And now they can start to get real aggressive.
Yeah, looking interesting here. What we're going to get. Got the Breach. Hiko's going to be playing the Breach. I actually like that choice of him using a character that provides some good utility for his team. 3v2. got a breach and a jet still left alive on each side. And then you have the, I think that is going to be the Brimstone as well as the Viper. Spike is going to be down.
I'm going to eat the backside.
That was the
I'm
breach
right
that ended
side
up falling there. So it's all
He's
up
on
to
the
the jet.
I think so.
Going to go now and pop that and the tremor through the wall. And again, it's just the advantages that you get with breach. He will become more picked. I guarantee it. You're getting a flash. You're getting a stun, and then you're also getting like like some crazy stun too. Because wait, and you also get like
You get like a knock up as well.
a knockup too. So you just get a ton of value from his kit that you typically won't get from any of the other agents in this game. I mean, who else has a stun that knocks and also something that knocks people up? Like no one really has that, you know?
You can see on the minimap as well when he charges it, you can see that little blue line that's coming out of his character. That shows you how far you're going to be throwing the stun or the flash or whatnot. So it's a really good indication. And look how he keeps toggling his map as well to gain as much information as possible. Is there any question marks? Is there any of my teammates gone down? And you can also see all the names of the different spots in game as well from the map. So if you're struggling with callouts, open up that map and you can see all the callouts that are there for you.
Yeah, it's a very handy tool. A few games have had it in the past, you know, like if you come from, say, like Call of Duty or Halo, like Halo 5 had them, where the callouts would be available. But look at that there. Nice shot by Nothing, the legendary Nothing. It's one of the greats of CS. And funny enough, the first guy I ever met in the Counter-Strike community.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How
I
did
met him
that
at
come
Gamescom many years ago. I was casting the Halo 5, no, the Halo Master Chief Collection. We were doing the H2A event, me and Bravo. And we just so happened to run into him in the middle of the street. And ever since then, we just stayed in touch. It's kind of random.
So one of the good ones to actually know, though. Nothing is a really nice guy and a phenomenal player as well. And that's why they are performing so well here. It's 7-1 at the moment, and just look at the patience from Nothing, just holding this angle. He can gain the information then if anyone's going to be pushing down A long. The rest of his team were kind of hovering around C. He will now have to rotate round because the spike carrier has been killed. He'll get the information, 2 versus 2. But not very much time for that spike to be planted. He is going to be the last remaining player.
And he put down oh, dude, he put down the orbital strike, and that is going to stop the player that was on site. He was running, and he kept that GPS up, and as soon as he knew that he was looking right at the site, he popped that ultimate right away. Now, where is the Sova going to be located? He's going to be right in front of him, and this is gorgeous. Nothing. What a play out of him, utilizing the kit of the Brimstone, and then taking to the gun when he needed to. That was a perfect example of why Valorant is so great, because it's the combination of everything that you could possibly do in this game.
And when you take players like Nothing who are already going to be good at retakes, at like checking angles, checking corners, at taking 1v1s, and then you give them an ultimate, which is literally a guaranteed kill if you can put it in the right place at the right time, then they are going to thrive. Now it's 8-1, and this is becoming ever more difficult for Summit's team.
Yeah,
oh
this
my.
is going to be a little tough.
Bottom B. Fuck.
I think I'm a little behind on you there, but either way, though. You see as Skadoodle's going through the different POVs right now of his
There's a
teammates.
smoke up top B.
Nothing's still going to be alive. It's a 3v3. You got 2 ults, though. Look out for that Raze ult, by the way. The bazooka. There's the boom bot. But if they detect that they could just charge in and pop a bazooka down, that could be an insta-pick.
I just love that it's called the Showstopper as well. Wasn't Big Show's chokeslam called the Showstopper or something like that? Is it another wrestling reference that we found?
I think so. Well, yeah, and then he also had the when he punched you, it was called the WMD. I think his chokeslam was called the Showstopper. I think so. Hard to say. But even then, though, hey, another wrestling reference. Someone on the Valorant team is a wrestling fan. I'm going to find this out. You need to do this in the interview, Wavepunk. You need to get the information for us. You should have just asked.
Which one of you? It's all about the wrestling.
The chokeslam, it was called the Showstopper. So there we go.
Dude, there it has to be a connection here. there's too much. But oh man, well, lost round there. Shongares tried to do his best to bring the team back into this one. 9-1 total score. As we're 2 rounds away from the half, and this has been Struggle City Population 5 for this team, for Team Summit.
And it's not
very
like
excited to see this team. What?
it's not like Summit has a bad side either. Like you look at Summit's roster and you're like, okay, they've got some serious players here, but they just
Look,
haven't been able to get onto the site.
I'm still excited to see this team. I'll never forget JoshOG winning one of our TFT tournaments that was full of now completely professional TFT players just by building a volley bear over and over again. Like he had this like one trick strat that nobody could figure out how to beat, and it was amazing. And he's played
So
pretty
good.
well in the shooter games as well.
Yeah, no, he's done a lot of Counter-Strike. He plays a lot of Battle Royales. He's no slouch, but neither are the players that are going to be on the other side. In fact, far from it. When you have talent like that, this has been so far a mollywhopping of 10-1 total as we are going to the last round of the half.
And there's
See
just
what
not
happens here.
really been any successful executes.
Just capped.
They've been, whilst they're working together and they're communicating, but there hasn't really been
That's what-
an
that's
attempt
actually
at pushing
what
onto a site and smoking several things off and like flashing their way and being confident.
13-1.
And that's mainly because of the aggression that we're seeing from Team Hiko.
People out
Like
here
look at
feeding for a bit,
Hiko
just
now
get
on
slapped
A
by
long
the
here.
other
He
team.
is going to be
This team is
peeking and he
unfair.
is going to be facing so aggressively. He's not going to be sitting back in sight and letting the other team push up and gain any info. Instead, he is looking to try and take this fight here.
Let's
One's
see
holding
now.
outside B.
And someone in the Twitch Rivals chat, by the way, I just saw, wanted me to talk about the Shootmans. My time as a Shootmania commentator,
Oh, geez.
global esport. I just, whenever someone mentions Shootmania, it's like a chapter of my life that I have not long forgotten because it actually was super fun. But I've met legitimately a lot of great players casting that. A lot of legendary FPS players as well. Folks like Sturmy, that have competed in that. And dude, I mean, this has just been a shellacking. I can't find another term that could maybe a good old fashioned, good old JR level slobber knocker, but beyond that, I have nothing else I can really contribute here besides it's just a butt whooping.
It's quite the blasting. They're now 2 rounds away.
Quite
I love it.
interesting.
I would love if they pulled the scoreboard a little more often and like see like who's up on top. Oh, it flashed there for just a second and I missed it.
Well, this is going to be
they're
the
focused on
benefit
playing.
of the observer mode, right? There is already observer mode in the closed beta, which I am so happy about. I can't wait to play around with. Golden Boy, I know you're excited as well because you're going to cast like your own sub matches or whatnot. There is
Yeah.
so much possibility when an observer mode is in a game this early, so I can't wait to see what it's capable of.
I know that just has me excited. If you're a caster, you should just be excited in general. But a rough going there for nothing, as he ended up getting picked off by Lex. But that will be 2 converted kills there for Ska and company.
Yeah.
As Team Hiko has just been running away with this one. This could very well go into match point here. You got a Sage and a Raze
One peak spawn.
on the opposite side. Maybe some utility. There was the E that was tossed, the grenade from the Raze, so they're going to be right in the back. Thankfully, you'll just pop your own E there,
Spawn.
knock them back a little bit, put some fear in them, prevent them from being able to do anything, get on site, get in front, and that is it. Round 1.
Siege for one follower.
Man, the half. It just, at this point, like, what can Team Summit do on defense to try and stop this? Because this is it. If they don't, it's over.
Well, I mean, they lost the pistol, which means that now
I
going
think
to be
Tim's
going
team
up
will be
against
pretty good,
far
but I think
better
this
weaponry.
I
A
don't
lot
think
more
xQc
abilities are going to be
has a
available
chance.
as well. They're going to
Maybe
have to
Tim
force
sees
up,
space,
obviously, because
Tim-
otherwise they just lose.
Tim, Flom, Dizzy,
Realistically,
Ace,
they
and,
have to just hold
might be
angles
a good
here.
team.
But the trouble is, when you've got like nothing in Skadoodle
Change
entering
your view model?
and
Left
just
and right,
successfully just one-tapping everybody, then even if you're holding
What about
angles,
E
you
inside
are
of
just going to
the
get slapperooed, and it's not fun.
The old slapperoo.
Mm-hmm.
One push garage dead.
One enemy remaining.
All right, well,
Ooh.
Last guy was C, yeah?
nice.
That's game.
Yeah, I mean that's a wrap at this point. You're gonna have a 1v4. There's nothing else you could do about that.
Yep.
GG's in the chat,
Not bad,
folks.
we did it.
Team Hiko
Yo,
gives
Rusty,
the
GG for
hands
tier 1, dude.
to
Appreciate
Team
it.
Summit,
I hope I get a drop soon.
thus
Yeah, we get a
establishing dominance in the Counter-Strike
drop. The heck?
/ Valorant community. Kind of like a little bit of a double, you know, I don't know really how to make that terminology stick, but dominance has been displayed.
Either way, they gave him a slapperoo.
This has been the
slapperoo.
thing in both groups. So there's a team in Group A where like this team looks super strong, and there's a team we did not even talk about before the show starts that just comes out and bops that team. So, yeah, man, Hiko, they're strong stuff.
I mean, to be fair, I did say how scary Hiko's team looked. I did say they looked terrifying.
You did,
because they
you
are
did.
terrifying.
You did. You
But
are.
at the same point, we joined this and it's 7-1.
7-1.
Yeah.
Okay, no, and I want to
Bella's
point out
not even happy with that.
this is Miss Harvey, Femsteph, Pterodactyls, Keeban, and Ethan Bernard. Many well-established shooter players. People we saw play super well last Tuesday, going up against Jake and Bake, Seagull, Iman, Synctas, and Wicked. Also some legendary names in that roster.
You know, I'm actually laughing over here, man.
On paper, and I'm like, I'm picking Miss Harvey's team every time.
Yeah, I'm laughing over here because I want to pull up the rosters again, and I would love to know what communities all these people come from, because that's like such an Overwatch team. Like, you know, just Seagull and Emong, you know, like that's all you need. That cracks me up. Ethan Bernard, though, man, is going to be someone that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. Ethan Bernard, by the way, not Bernard. He did want me to specify that. And, you know, yeah, it's Bernard. But Ethan is great at this game. He's been putting out a lot of content, by the way. Check him out. Give his channel a follow. I assure you, you will not be disappointed. I know right now the score is 7-1, and it's not looking the best for them here on Haven, but they are. He's a great player. Oh dear, that Sova ult went right through, and I was a little concerned there for a moment for the player that was going to be right in front of Ethan, because it looked like they were about to get disintegrated into nothingness. But nothing wasn't in this game. He was in the other game.
He's already out of the other game. It was that quick. And it could be the same here, really, unless we see something from the likes of Ethan. Still 4v4 at the moment.
That was good. That was good. Quite proud of that one, Dan. You did well.
I'm glad that I still managed to impress you even now.
All these years later, Dan.
Even after all these years. Maybe that was the first time I've ever impressed you. Who knows? But
Who knows?
Ethan won't survive. And it's going to be 8-1 now. And things have got from bad to worse. And this is 8 rounds attacking as well. And I will always go back to the point that I think attacking is far more difficult in general, just because it's a newer game and people don't have the coordination, they don't have the executes down yet. But it seems like it might not be the case on the other side here, because they have been stomping their way onto sites successfully.
Well, but that boils down to the coordination, right? I've been watching Seagull for such a long time. His rise to prominence ever since the release of Overwatch and his subsequent time in the Overwatch League. I mean, this guy was considered just a great mind. Ooh, it's knocked back there. That was going to be from the breach. But he has a great mind for the game. And you know that he's thinking about, he's just a great mind for any game that he plays. So you know he's thinking about those executes. You know he's thinking about how to push sites, how to work around his team. And then on top of which, not just work around his team, but also work with their abilities, because he's used to it. He's used to it. Not to say that Counter-Strike guys aren't, because they clearly have showed that they are, but he has grown used to this kind of gameplay loop for a very long time now.
And notice how they all push through middle as well, just to try and gain the information, like secure middle, and then now they gain more information that people were at C, so they all instantly trot their way over to A instead, and they'll use the numbers advantage, because as soon as they know one player is at C and it's going to take them a while to rotate, they have the advantage by pushing onto the A side.
Yeah. Got picked off on Heaven there, but a double kill is actually going to come through. Should be enough for them to try and hold this one down, Team Jake and Bake.
Okay, I walled off their spawn.
So ice walls placed. So barrier wall in action. You got the spike down. You have a Raze and a Sage versus a Jet Sage, and Viper. Scratch that, just the Raze. Only player remaining is going to be on the site. Goes in for the rocket, the bazooka, the Showstopper. Manages to obliterate. And it's going to be dancing around this here. But finally, the cleanup from the Viper is in. And they managed to win out on that round.
Nice.
They could not clear out of the site, though, I believe, quick enough. Hard to tell, but in any case,
even money out though.
either way, that was a good use of the Raze Showstopper. It is like, I mean, I don't like using this word, but it is a win button.
Yeah,
It's a win button.
It's a kill button. I don't know if it's a win button. I think that through a lot of these abilities in this game, you're not guaranteed kills. But that is a guaranteed kill if you see someone and you can put the Showstopper at their feet. And if there are a group of people clumped up, then it becomes a win button. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with one agent having that possibility in the right scenario. And you can play around it by just not clumping up and being stupid, really.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, well, we continue onward here. You're going to have the blades out now for the Jet. 5v2. Just your Raze and Sova standing. What does Raze have in her pocket? Because we know that it's not going to be the Showstopper. And the Raze is out of here. So it's down to the Sova. 4v1 block, though. Maybe can get that spike planted on the A site. Sorry, maybe get some positioning established on the A side. Apologies. What I'm seeing right now is a little pixelated, but it's all good.
You work with what you got, GB.
That's right, baby girl. You already know. You already know. I'm just here to give you guys my sultry, silky voice. That's it.
Have you ever considered radio?
I don't know if I'd ever get tired of watching Jet ult.
So I have a face for radio. Yeah, no, I agree with.
Just the clean is like pop, pop, pop. Like it's just so satisfying. Like it does kind of remind me of like watching like Genji shuriken kills, but like way more, way cooler.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying. Also considering that, you know, what is it? His name? Psychodez, I want to say. Synced. Okay, a little crazy there.
Easy.
Jumping out of mid window like that. You have the Jet. You can blink to the other side, but you know, a little crazy. Just gonna say that out loud.
Oh fuck! What is that?
He just seems really confident in his shot. Like we saw him in the previous round, just getting up in people's faces, like bursting onto sight. And I mean, look at what he can do. Miss Harvey was ripped apart there. He just does what he wants. It doesn't matter where he is on the map. This man is a one-man wrecking machine.
He is hitting everything, every shot that you could possibly ask for. This dude is on fire. I've never seen him before. I'm not familiar with his experience and his play style, but from what I've seen, this man looks like a tank.
I mean, I can already see on his overlay, he's got his YouTube there. I am hitting that button. I am following that YouTube because there are some montages that are going to arrive from this man. I can already tell
right now
by his playstyle.
The participants list that you can actually click on the player if you're watching here at Twitch Rivals. And I'm going to just refresh this and go and follow him because I now need all of his tricks. I need all of his tricks.
That would require you maybe playing Jet, though, and you'd have to not play Raze. Are you okay with that?
That's true. You know what? No, actually not okay with that. I tried to go and give him a follow. I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. But,
Jumping over to Jacob Bake Live, the IRL streamer. Any snipers in chat?
One mid, two mid. Sewers, one sewers.
His team is 2 rounds away from winning here.
Yeah, this has just been domination here. And if they win this pistol, again, it'll be similar to like the last game. They should be able to secure it. But even if they don't, the fact they're on defense and they have this kind of lead, I cannot see Miss Harvey's side getting back into it, even if they were to start playing out of their minds.
Yeah.
Synced got the pick as well onto Ethan, and Ethan, one of the really strong players on the opposition team. So it's not looking good. Could be 12-1.
Actually in their spawn right now. I hear him rotating.
I think he's going to be creeping around, looking for the angle.
Wow.
As he goes up, and again, and then Seagull immediately with 2. That's it. That is the game. I mean, yes, you're going to have another round here, but they are going to be broke out of their minds. Like
Isn't
the
that
way I was
back-to-back?
back in middle school. Broke.
It's okay. I'll give you a quarter. Isn't that back-to-back flawless rounds?
I think so.
Yo, man,
I think
you
so,
wanna
and
see
this could be
fucking
back-to-back,
crazy push out
what,
double
13
doors?
ones as well from game to game as we start to wonder what happened to Golden Boy in school. His pants went down in high school, he was broke in middle school.
Smoke left.
I'd rather
Go-
not talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things we've got to get into off-stream, Alex, as we work out really what happened in your childhood. But 12-1, and this could be a game to forget for Miss
Did you see
Harvey's
that?
team.
Did you see the smoke by the way from Sing? Nah, this guy's the best jet I've seen so far.
Did he just, like, give that the old
He-
twister roo?
He gave it a twist around it, so he never exposed himself on double doors. He was literally running. He spun his crosshair around and blocked blocked that mid doorway.
Nah.
There's definitely one long
Nah,
Nah. Don't believe it. I didn't
Nah.
see it. Don't believe it.
didn't see it. Didn't happen. Nah.
This guy is just unreal. Look how aggressive he's being as well. He's just so confident, and they're going to be able
Look
to
at that.
pinch these guys at A.
Oof.
Oh, he
I mean,
almost
the only
gave-
thing that will take him out is if someone catches him from behind, right? Like at this point, that's what it is.
It's open.
Maybe there's something still from Miss Harvey's team here.
Perhaps, perhaps.
They've got 50 seconds to work with. Like, you have plenty of time in a round. You can, like, move towards one site, try and encourage the rotation from your opposition, and then go back around. As long as you don't give too much information to them,
No, I can't.
Yeah.
then you can
Well,
get
C's
away with
wide
it.
open right now. I think the only one that was by C was Sova. But the Sova's been moving around. So they're just hard committing on the A push. See, at this point in time, right, you only have 28 seconds. Either you commit to this fight and try and get a kill and a pick in, or you just rotate around to B. But you just don't have enough time to be able to execute on that. So you have to kind of split your push up. They needed to make that decision in like 20 seconds, and they just couldn't seem to do so. They couldn't seem to get through that. The plant attempt there from Fen Steph. He also had another one from Jake and Bake as he picked off Ethan Bernard, but Taro there for the cleanup. Doesn't matter. That's going to be 13-1. GG's. Jake and Bake shaking and baking the competition as we go over to Team Amunition.
We're currently up 10-4.
And we move over to Bind. No Haven. We got Bind now.
Hey.
Hmm.
We haven't seen much Bind today. I think it's the teleporters that just is something about Bind that I really enjoy. And I think it's.
Okay. I thought you were going to say that people weren't picking it because of the teleporters.
Oh no! I just think that's the reason why I quite like the map. It's just interesting the fact that you don't really have a middle, and you've got the teleporters to quickly rotate around as well. Just it creates a nice dynamic.
It does. It does.
Start going into back of sight now.
By the way, folks, if you're watching and joining us, just want to remind you all, if you are watching, make sure you link your Riot and Twitch accounts together. I think we have to disable pop-ups or enable pop-ups or something like that, potentially. Right? What was that, Wavepunk? You know,
Because sometimes pop-ups, if they're not enabled, it'll cause it to be like there's an error or something like that. Or sometimes just certain browsers don't get along with it. So you can try a second browser if you're having problems. But it should be pretty simple. And to anybody in chat that's saying I've got keys, DM me or something like that, they are scammers. Do not listen to them.
yes.
There is no such thing as a key. It's just your account gets whitelisted. People are using the word key because it's faster to say than whitelist.
Do want to shout out to one of my mods, Philomath Shadow, who's been on fire today with the support, because there have been some people that have attempted to come into my chat and spam some things about having keys and whatnot, and he's been clutch. So, you know, I know mod day was a few days ago, but it's mod day every day on Twitch, because mods without our mods it will be very difficult. Oh man,
Oh
Dr.
man,
Lupo.
Dr. Lupo pulling out.
It's been a little quiet so far.
Can he get caught by this ult though? Or will Lupo do a little dodger Rooney? Has managed to stay alive.
Nice. He probably
Just trying to
gonna be
wallbang him at the
Rivington.
moment.
Yeah. All you had to do was just hold it. He just held it down. Both of them died there because of the explosion from the spike. Despite that,
Stop.
Pookie, where are you for the puns? Yeah. So despite that, that was that benefited Team Amunition. Smart of Amunition to have Rivington on her squad. So someone actually in my chat mentioned earlier, they're like, Rivington is LCS caster. He's not a CS guy. He started in Counter-Strike. He is an FPS dude. He's been an FPS dude for years. I've known this guy for freaking ever. And yeah, man, he's really good at clicking heads. But he also loves League of Legends as well.
Yeah. Also, if we're going to thank mods, I should probably thank my one and only mod who today probably went into overdrive, Tan Fanner, because about 450 people joined my stream and I didn't have any sort of ability to deal with that. All my follower alerts were breaking my PC. People were spamming drop. I was melting. She was probably melting. So big thanks to her being my only mod to actually save me from probably severe depression if I hadn't have sorted that one out. So now instead, I was very happy.
Yeah. And someone in my chat just said that they got it. Leet Shinny. Congratulations, Leet. Welcome to Valorant. Hopefully more of you folks are going to be able to join us here today. Remember, all you got to do is link your Twitch and Riot accounts and go to a channel that has drops enabled, or you can just, you know, chill out here at Twitch Rivals and watch everyone. Oh, this is a competitor I've been excited to watch. Lulu Lovely. She is good. She is very good. Another good player at clicking heads. But look at the pressure there from the Sova, preventing any kind of movement in hookah. Actually, it was very smart. So spamming that box there, because I think, you know, she had made the assumption that someone could have been inside of that box, but going in for the ADS, it did not work out for her, unfortunately, as she was tucked away in the hookah lounge. And that is going to be match point now for Team and Munition. Let's see what they do.
Hookah Lounge sounds like some sort of cocktail bar that I would go to in England. They would sell me like a nice strawberry daiquiri of some sort.
I'll paranoia.
Would you join me?
Perhaps like a steamed herb.
I don't know what an herb is, but I know what a herb is.
Oh, don't get into this. Don't get into this wave. I'm just saying. Okay. So
I'm backing down. Not the time and place.
I cast with him, with Onset, with Sims, with all these guys who the second you say herb, they lose their minds and say, I don't know what an herb is, but I know what a herb is. Every time, dude. Every time. Without fail. It's impressive. Truly. It really is.
I'm glad we can all synergize, though, as British commentators to ensure that we trigger you in one way or another.
That's like the only way you can synergize.
Wow.
I mean, it's funny because it's true.
It's true.
12-4, although at least the advantage is on the opposition side. Team Ammunition, though, looking at a good spot to take this game, unless there's some sort of miraculous comeback, which I have seen. To be fair, I've seen quite a lot of comebacks in Valorant so far.
Yeah. I have, but I don't know. I think it's just more because of unfamiliarity, but I think as this continues to establish, ooh, man, this is a battle of the emotional kinds as Omen's going to take on Cypher. 12 HP
Wars.
I was going to say all that.
Oh! Wait, what?
Well, he got the defuse.
Oh, dang it. I didn't realize that. Oh, I'm so tired. 10 hours, guys. 10 hours. But even though that shot was sick.
He got the kill, but it was just a split second too late. The defuse had already come through. That would have been the game. That would have been match. And that would have been Team Ammunition at 1-0.
Dude, unlucky. I mean, like lucky, but unlucky. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know what I mean.
Unlucky from where we're standing, you know?
Here's another competitor that we switched. But we had Iridium, who is also another up-and-comer that I think everyone should keep their eyes on. Good player. Very, very talented. And then Binance, who, mind you, her camera's probably like 10 times better than mine is. That is just detailed to a level I've never expected.
Got that pro gamer setup.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. You're not going to really hit those shots from that far with the Silence SMG.
Everywhere.
You can, theoretically, but it'd be very, very challenging.
If you tap, then you're going to be able to hit the shots, but you're not going to do as much damage as well. With the SMGs, you do less damage if you're further than 20 meters away.
Binance got called out there by the... I think that was going to be the Sova Recon Bolt. So they know where Binance is going to be located in the back. There's going to be Dr. Lupo that kill, I'm not quite sure why I saw the Cypher get picked. I think that may have been yeah. So I was gonna say back labs, and then your last player is gonna be Bnan, who's over on the left side. So Bnan gets called out, picked, and that is it. GG. Team Amunition is gonna win 13-5. As they move on, they continue to roll through the group play section of our NA Valorant Showdown finals.
Oh, man.
NA Valorant Showdown finals. I don't know.
We're in the group stage. We'll get to
Group
finals
stage.
later on. That's right. But back and forth there. TimTheTatman was able to take down Yasuo in an off-stream match, as well as well, I guess we got to tune in with all the other ones. We saw Hiko take the win over Summit, and we saw Jake and Bake take the win over Miss Harvey there. So Amunition joins the ranks of the winners here for round number 1. But folks, we to play easy, simple stuff there. Hiko, TimTheTatman, Jake and Bake Live, and Amunition. Man, Jake and Bake Live beating Miss Harvey. Imagine, chat. Imagine losing to an IRL streamer.
Dude, Hiko.
As we get into it, right now we got TimTheTatman, who beat Yasuo's team in round number 1. He's going up against Summit1g's team, and Summit's trying to look for the bounce back here. They dropped a harsh one to Hiko. So a team that won, a team that lost, going head to head here.
Yeah, it's
And I
actually
think
quite exciting. Go ahead, again.
Tim's team looks terrifying. ACU and Dizzy like being the core, but then you've just got the rest of the guys who will help shape this team. They are going to be in a really, really good spot to potentially win this group, but at least put up a really good fight at the top of the table.
Like, just for the context, there was a montage that Ace put out on I'm forgetting where it was. It was on YouTube or it was on Twitter. It was one of those two, where he flat out was just showing how he is good at aiming in pretty much every game. It is literally like every game that you could possibly imagine. All different shooting mechanics in every game. Like, he jumped from I think like a CS game to a Halo game in one of his clips. Just to give you an idea of how good he is at aiming. So if you people are watching right now and are not checking out ACU on Twitch, you're crazy. You need to follow his channel right now because he's a monster. And then Dizzy too. Dizzy, I mean, besides being like one of the nicest kids I've ever met, he's just a monster. And the future's bright for those guys.
And I don't know if ACU still holds the record, but certainly during Alpha, he hit 55 kills in matchmaking in one of the games, which is definitely going to be up there with the most kills we are going to see in any matchmaking game. Is Tim. Okay, he's getting some work done here.
Do you remember that I said TimTheTatman's going to be the greatest Valorant player of all time? I said that.
I also remember when you said his team was going to lose because he was on it. So, I mean, it just depends on which clip we're looking at.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh.
You lying.
Fake news.
That's fake. That's fake stuff. Nah, fam. I would never say that about my boy Tim. I always have his back. That's right,
Tim's
Tim.
amazing.
Yeah, no, he's a riot. But he's also going to be using the Brimstone. Brimstone's been I would say a pretty safe lock. Brimstone and Sage. You know, understandable that a lot of players do not have the agents unlocked at this time. Like, not all agents, but Brimstone and Sage have been go-tos.
They have, and I think that's just because they are pretty much integral to the core of what you need to do in this game. Sage is there to heal people up, so you ensure that you're not weak when you're going into a fight, and also she's very good at supporting. She's got the res ult, which can be very powerful. And then Brimstone has the best smoke abilities out of any of the agents. Of course, there are other agents who have smoking abilities, but his are the most powerful, and he kind of gets the most that he can deploy at one time. You have a maximum of 3, and you can use them all at once if you want, or you can save them throughout the round. I'd say the only other agent who has smokes that are probably close to that would be Omen, because his is part of his actual recharge ability. So he can have 2 at a time, but then they recharge over time. So he can consistently hold a site or push a site, depending on if you're on attack or defense.
Another player on this team for Team TimTheTatman, Mendo. So you kind of have a little, you know, the BR boys here, right? With Dizzy, Mendo, as well as Ace. Tim does, you know, play BRs a significant amount as well. Who else is going to be on this lineup here? You got Ace, Dizzy, and then Flom. But you know, Flom's been gaming CS for like a super long time. So is Tim. He's actually been playing games like that for a hot minute. Besides just playing like Fortnite or like Call of Duty Warzone, he's actually been when his stream was starting to blow up many years ago. I recall this because I was working at Twitch, and I remember he used to do his morning streams playing CS, and it was always a really fun for me to watch that personally because I hadn't watched a lot of CS at that time. So he kind of, had a pretty big impact on Counter-Strike for a little while as a broadcaster, and continues to do so. So this team has just a ton of weapons, from the experience of Flom and Tim to the raw skill of the BR boys, Mendo, Dizzy, and Ace. This is a dominating roster.
And we say BR boys, and we maybe are just toning that down to the fact that they currently play some very popular battle royales. But I mean, I've seen Dizzy tweeting saying like he's fallen in love with Valorant already, and he hopes that he can have a successful career in Valorant. So, at what point do we start calling them Valorant players? I guess is just when they commit to that, when they make that tweet, or when they join a team. I know people already want to go pro in Valorant. I've seen all the memes as well, the people who were saying it before the game was even released, but there's a lot of excitement around. Like, people really genuinely just want to get their teeth stuck into a video game. And especially in these current times where people are stuck inside, the release of this beta, it couldn't be more perfect for so many people who have been able to gain access.
Yeah, that's right. Covering on that, yesterday kind of seemed like the day where everyone would announce that they're going pro in Valorant. Who knows? Maybe Flom gets back into the fold here. He's looking pretty good so far. The way he's playing Cypher here too, where he placed the camera, was really smart, because it was an early placement on a garden side, so the right side going toward A. And he placed that there because he's able to move the camera and see if anyone's going down straight from A or B to C, and no one destroyed that camera. Very useful vision for him to have, and he knew exactly where someone was going to be because he had that inclination that they were pushing in that direction. He heard them. Sound is very prominent in this game, but on top of which, he also was aware that the camera was going to be useful for him in that moment. And he places it early round too, so he kind of just dumps all his stuff and then focuses on just clicking on heads.
I've got a question for you, Alex, and maybe for you, Wave, as well. We've spoke a lot about agents and like kind of who's the best agent, or who do we think is the most powerful agent. It is a beta, and I imagine that changes could come throughout the beta, or after when the official release comes out. We might get buffs, we might get nerfs. Who do you think needs a buff? Like, is there any agents that you don't feel are strong enough, or do you feel like everyone all around has a part that they can play in each game?
That is a really good question. I think that Cypher and Omen are good, but they are niche. Like, Cypher's trap wires are effective, but can be shot and stopped rather quickly, while his camera also does the same thing. So, oh man, Lex is insane. The fact that he still was able to pick up a shot even though he saw that jet there for a brief moment was crazy. But I feel like Cypher with the trap wires has a lot of potential to stop rotations, but players would normally expect to see it. And I feel like my traps are shot down more often than not. That being said, his cyber cage is insanely useful. Like, it is a smoke. It's a smoke with vision on top, and his ult is really good. It gives you information on where players are going to be. But it's that trap wire that kind of stops me up here, and I'm not as confident when it comes to that. And then Omen isn't weak or anything. The issue with Omen is that it's just a higher level agent to play. You're going to be looking at your minimap a lot, trying to place where your dark cover is going to go, to understand how you're going to get the paranoia down so that you can near sight a bunch of people. And also, near sight as a whole is a completely new thing too, because that's not something that you'd have in a game like CS. You never had near sight before. So those are the two agents that I'm like a little ho-hum on, but I can easily see people do that. What about you? What do you think about agents that are potentially, quote unquote, we don't know this, but underpowered?
I would agree with you on both Omen and Cypher, but mainly just for their ultimates. I feel like even though Cypher's ultimate is good, it's not long enough. Like, it's a second.
That's
it flashes
true.
up where everyone
enough.
is.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like for saving it up over like several rounds and you've got all these kills and you've built it up, where someone can literally whip out a rocket launcher and kill you, or kill several people, but all you can do is gain a little bit of information for a second. Information very much is key in this game, but it almost is too much information at once in a very short second of time. So you almost need someone who's dead to be like, okay, there's someone here, here, and here, because you're looking around the minimap, like trying to keep up with it all in a second. And the same for Omen. I feel like his ultimate is really powerful, but because of the clear indication of people like spawning, everyone knows you're going to be spawning behind them or you're going to be teleporting behind them, it almost ruins that power. And maybe it's just a case of people need to learn how to use it first, and it might be at that right power level. I do agree. I think both of those two maybe are the agents that I wouldn't personally play as much, but when we get players who are amazing at this game, they'll probably prove us wrong.
I could see that, you know, changes for Cypher where he has a few more seconds on his ultimate ability. Omen, though, on the other hand, if you were to negate a big round win, by the way, for Team Summit, that managed to just bring themselves back, or maybe not bring themselves back entirely, but give them at least a round win. So the reason why I was saying, like, with Omen, if his teleport, if there was any changes to it, it would be too powerful.
Yeah.
Whatever is the obvious thing to do with Omen, don't do it. It's kind of been the stance that I've taken with that particular agent, because he has a lot of abilities that are just infinitely useful, but very, very weird to play. Because when you play a game, you're looking at your screen, and it's whatever that you can possibly do on your screen at that point in time is what determines your you know, your movement, right? Okay, I Sage puts down the ice wall, sweet. Or Raze has a grenade, I'm gonna throw it down there, sweet. It's like very simple. But with Omen, you're literally looking at the minimap to align your stuff. You know, like I would say 3 out of the 2 abilities that you have are looking at your minimap, which is just very different. It's just a very different kind of gameplay experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Omen is on a very fine line. I think you're right. If you add anything or change anything, he suddenly becomes too overpowered. So it's probably best to keep him where he is. Yeah,
he has a teleport that works really, really well. You know,
it would be scary if you didn't know when he was teleporting. Yeah. Wave, what about you? You've maybe not played as much as me and GB because we played through the alpha. Is there any characters you don't like, you do like?
The only thought I've had is, like, Sova's ult sounds broken, and I think I've yet to see someone actually get picked off by it. Like the ult the ability of combination of his vision plus the ult, so maybe making it faster or something, like maybe do less damage but a little bit harder to dodge. I don't know. It's like I feel like it should be a lot stronger than it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because when I die to it, I'm like, this is too strong. It needs a nerf. But I'm like that with anything. I get killed by a weapon. I'm like, it's too strong. It needs a nerf.
Bro, I missed my shots with the Vandal today, and I was just like, this gun needs a buff. This is ridiculous.
And then you'll watch like ACU, and he'll just one-tap the whole server, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
So you can't buff being bad.
No, they can't buff being bad. Ain't that the truth?
But I do think there is a really nice balance at the moment with all weapons and agents. I haven't played enough with Raze in the meta to kind of decide how that's going to change things, but I think she adds a really nice dynamic. The main reason why I'm happy another agent has come in this early is just because people were already starting to like get a little bit predictable with the spots they were sitting in, and now Raze is kind of changing that because of her boombot especially. It will sniff you out, and you will be punished if you're sat in a corner.
Raze brings much needed utility to the table for her explosives. We were lacking explosives. We didn't have that. It was something that I felt it was like kind of a void almost with the game. Yeah, and I'm glad that we have that now. Yeah, you know, now we got frag grenades. The rocket launcher, oh, that thing's powerful. Oh no, ooh. Yeah, that just, okay.
Wait.
I think, yeah, so what he ended up doing was brilliant. It just couldn't do it in time. So he managed to put down the spike, right? But what ended up occurring was that as that spike was down, he was getting hit with the orbital strike. he put down his C4. His C4 allows him to, it doesn't damage Raze. She can actually jump away. So he needed to put the C4 down, run, and then he was going to bust out the bazooka and get ready to just wreck some fools. So that was his game plan. Unfortunately, he couldn't get out of the orbital strike range because it was dead center where he was. In fact, I think he had a little bit more. If he had gone to the right, he might have been able to get out of it. But even then, he would have ran into another player. So good attempt there nonetheless, but that's what happened.
But like just seeing people attempt stuff like that really excites me. Like we are gonna get some insane clips from players of this caliber.
I have a clip that I'm gonna post later on today that was really fun. I called it. I was like, I'm gonna C4 myself, and then I'm gonna jump up, and I'm gonna get a double. And I did it. I literally did it, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Man, Sean Gare's there. Actually made a little bit of a rare flub of a player of his stature. What he did not consider was how his Sage slow orb was actually going to bounce, because that orb is actually the hitbox for it is a lot bigger than you would think. So you may be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw this over these boxes here, and it actually hits the corner because it's a chunky boy.
Oh man, they're just everything they
Chunky boy.
Chunky boy.
It's another pretty dire situation in a 1v5, and it's 7-2
He
at the
needed
moment.
gods, man. He said he needed gods.
But you can hear him?
No. I'm saying that he had tweeted that he needed CS gods.
Oh, I see.
And I think it was for this. And
to be fair, he got some.
he got CS gods.
However, Tim also got some gods as well.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And wait, is
kids out
this
here.
the same group as Hiko's team as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. So that means the next game would be Tim's. Well, if this
Versus
scoreline went this
Hiko.
way, Tim versus Hiko. Oh my.
Well, it will be Tim versus Hiko regardless.
Regardless, but it would be them playing each other for whoever goes through in the group.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, it's got like
yeah.
nothing versus Dizzy, Hiko
Oh,
versus ACU. Whew.
Oh yeah.
Although this game's not over yet. I'm not gonna.
No.
I'm presuming it's over, but it's not. There is
Well,
always.
it doesn't matter. They're gonna play each other no matter what in the group, so we can still get excited for it, Dan.
Thank you.
You
I'm
know,
glad.
We can still be excited.
What's their garage?
See, there's the C4.
Bottom mid.
You place the C4 down, and then you're able to jump up.
1C.
It is really fun, and then you get some elevation, but it's just nowhere near as good as the jet. What is it? Updraft. Jet's
yeah.
updraft is whew, that's
So it's
the
not.
best.
It doesn't take you as high. Admittedly, I haven't seen or used Raze to
Yeah.
seen the C4 ability yet. So it's not quite as high as Updraft then.
Yeah, it's not quite as high as updraft. Like you can, but it's high. Like you'll lift up high, and I think you'll still be able to clear things. Like she'll be able to easily clear the wall here. But the thing is that her ability, it depends on where she's standing on the C4. So if she's like a little bit to the side of the C4 and jumps, she'll kind of get catapulted more. So rather than being on top of it, she'll be lifted straight up. But there is like some element of diagonal trajectory that can happen with the Raze C4 versus like updraft, which is just straight up, up and then she's down.
Here's a question you might not know, but because I've not played Raze, I haven't been able to experience it. Does your C4 hurt your teammates? Can you launch your teammates in the air?
I have not
I presume
thought
it
about
hurts
that.
them, like similar to when you use Phoenix's Molotov or Brimstone's Molotov. It hurts your teammates. So I imagine the C4 and the paint grenade and stuff would do exactly the same.
I have not looked into that.
Okay.
That is I'm gonna have to try. I should have did that with my buddy Ghost and just threw a C4 at him and saw what happened. That would have been great.
Either way, it would be great because if it launches up in the air, you're like, hey, that's cool. Or you kill him and you're like, hey, that's cool, because you've also killed your buddy as well.
Yeah.
Running up long A a bunch.
Ooh, Sean Gares needs to be careful.
Back mid. Careful.
Yeah, those players drop back. So seems like they're gonna head on over to the A side. You're only gonna have one player over there. They got the pick, so they made the move.
So low mid.
Summit though, in turn, is gonna get dropped off, and that is gonna be Ace again, and just bananas how Ace from mid window punishes a player who was looking right at him. JoshOG now with the op in heaven. Raze grenade out. Doesn't quite get anything with it because in the middle of all that, Dizzy ends up killing Lex. And then that will be Summit's very own JoshOG by himself, 1v5 with an op. At this point, do you save? Well, you're not going to get a chance to do so because Mendo charges right around the corner. Ace's 16 kills in this game currently.
And that's going to be the half as well at 10-12. We have pretty much only seen stomps so far in North America. Whereas Europe, we had a lot of really closely contested games. It just so happens that the ones we've witnessed in North America have been absolute bangers, but just from one side.
Yeah,
and if Tim's team win the pistol, again, it's probably gonna be game.
Yeah, that snowball will certainly happen. I think a lot of the CS vets on that team will know that and will be hesitant to invest. Perhaps they do. I don't know. Maybe they just make it up and just invest, even though they don't have the financial means to do so. Worry about it later.
Like, there's one or two routes. If you lose this pistol and you go down 11-2, you either say, look, we're going to save, we'll give them the 12th round, or give them the likelihood of winning that 12th round, and we're playing for overtime. We're playing to go to 12-12, which is pretty unlikely at this point. Or you just say, look, we have to force up at every round now. We cannot afford to lose any more rounds, which seems at this scoreline to go for that.
Flam just picked up a double. Mendo gets a double of his own. That's going to be the Sage left alone. And right in front of TimTheTatman, it's Showstopper, and that's round 11 for the Tatman army and his compatriots.
And was that one of Cypher's traps that just displayed it to him? Like, what was it that actually made him show up?
I think it was the. I think
must have been a Cypher
trap.
Just
because
looking at who's on that team.
So what happened was they delayed.
Oh yeah, look, you can see where the trap is.
And then Tim was hiding behind box and delayed the smoke. So he let them come up the B side here, or yeah, sorry, the C side. He let them come up C side from C long, and then put it down. You see how he has it literally right over the trap.
Really clever.
That is combination of abilities, Dan.
Yeah, this is what I love. This is what I'm really excited for, is the different combinations of different abilities, because that means there's no way you are going to see that trap. It's different if this was Omen, for example, when you walk inside that. What just
it's over?
What just happened?
They just got obliterated.
We didn't even see it. We're busy watching Tim and being like, oh, great smokes, Tim. And elsewhere, Dizzy and Asu and the rest of the boys are just running a train
we're
through the opposition.
Looking at Tim play with his iPad. Meanwhile, Mendo and Ace are just running roughshod all over the competition. I mean, you know, maybe he's just trying to play Temple Run. I don't know, Tim. I don't know what us old people like to play these days.
I feel like they probably all rushed one site and just got annihilated. So round was over as fast as it started. Now we're on match point.
We are indeed 12-2. I don't see a comeback here. I don't think anyone else would see a comeback here, especially when Dizzy just got the pick so early.
The way Mendo is playing is brilliant with this. You don't really see a Sage play that aggro all that often, because when you think of Sage, you think this is a character that is going to lock down sites. But what ended up happening was that the Sage tossed out the slow orb first, played around that slow orb in case anyone was stuck in the middle, then knew when the slow orb was going to be despawning or coming out, and then tossed his next slow orb on from the A side, so to further prevent any push. While all that is going on A side, they were getting pressured from mid, and that leads them to just one player left alive, and that's it. GG's. Oh my, that was wild. Genuinely insane. Tim, you don't need to do anything. Just let these people play the game. Just go ahead and play with your iPad, fam. That's all you got to do.
Just do what you do best and just sit there and talk to chat for 3 hours.
Yeah, he's great at it.
I say that as a joke. For a long time there was a time where I would tune into Tim's stream and watch him just talk to chat because it was genuinely entertaining, and then he'd like be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play Fortnite," and then I go watch somebody else. But now he's gotten just so good at video games too. It's genuinely fun to watch him play the game as well.
What I love is this back and forth in Alex's head where he's like, Tim is the best player we've ever seen on Valorant, to, yeah, Tim doesn't have to do anything, to, Tim is the best player, to, Tim doesn't have to do anything. Alex, make up your mind.
He doesn't have to do anything.
Well, I mean, Dizzy
You
and
want to know? You want to know
ASU
what makes the best player? You want to know what makes the best player, dog?
What makes the best player?
When you build a good team.
Exactly.
That's what I used to do when I competed.
I used to
Build
say
great
that
teams.
when I used to compete, and I used to see like some of these best Halo teams and whatnot, and I'd be like, I could replace X, Y, or Z player on that team, and I would still succeed because those three are amazing, and I wouldn't have to do anything. And that's what Tim's done. Tim has just found some absolute gods.
Smart man, linking himself up with Mendo, Ace, and Dizzy. But now we're going to look forward here to our round 2 matchup in Group B. We're going to have Beanans taking on, I believe this is going to be Team Amunition. No, they played before.
Last round, they'll be taking on Miss Harvey.
Is this not Miss Harvey's
So,
team with high distortion?
Yeah, so Miss Harvey has Ethan Bernard, Lord Keeban, Pterodactyls, and Femstep.
No, this is not that. They're playing against. Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
And these are both the teams that lost last round. So somebody getting a win here.
My bad, fam.
This is where Alex now tells us how long he's been awake for.
11 hours.
There we go. There it is. 11 hours, Alex. Why were you up so early? Oh yeah, you were playing Valorant. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Look, there are very few things that I'm a good commentator at. I would like to think I was decent when I commentated pro wrestling for like 2 events.
Let's go.
And when I casted Halo after I abandoned it because everyone hated me. But I'm genuinely, I don't think I've been this excited about a game since I competed in Shadowrun back in the day.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shadowrun was my favorite FPS game ever made.
You're telling
I
me
played that for
Shootmania
hours.
didn't draw this level of hype for you?
Listen here, man. I love the Shootmans. Okay, I love the Shootmans, but Shadowrun was my bae. That was my game, dude. I loved it so much. So that is why I love this game so much, because it reminds me of that. In case you guys don't remember Shadowrun, it was an awesome game from back in the day, Xbox 360 days. It was essentially like a class-based shooter. It was way ahead of its time. It was CS, but with classes. That's literally what it was. And it was so fun to play as. And I used to compete on it on the MLG Pro Circuit.
Let's go.
And that was one of my, it was just one of the greatest experiences, I think, of like my teenage years.
Miles the
competing in
Ross, who commentates Call of Duty, he used to be very good at Shadowrun. I remember that.
Did you see that shot from Lulu, by the way?
I didn't even see the head, but she killed him.
She did. She saw the head of that player. Guess what? That dude's leaving with no head. Gave him a haircut.
So is this this is only the second time we've seen Split today. Did we correct? I can't remember if we corrected. I was calling it Bonsai earlier because I think when information on this map was first released, people it was codenamed Bonsai or something like that, but the actual release name is Split. I personally like Bonsai too, but officially we should say it's called Split because that is the map name.
Yeah, you went in game and got the double check on it?
Yes, I did.
Smart man. Smart man, lad.
I will continue to go into the game after Twitch Rivals is finished, and I'm going to play all night and all morning.
I told my wife, I said, honey, you don't have a husband for at least a day or so.
Well, I mean, that's lucky because you haven't had a wife because of Animal Crossing. So
this is true. I haven't had a wife because of Animal Crossing, so.
She's like, finally he'll stop asking me to bring him food.
Well,
so I can just keep on getting my turnips.
Well, here's the thing, man. She's been, raking in the cash. It's been a turnip farm out there. I think she's about to be a billionaire.
Alex is
she is a billionaire right now.
In Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you really just say billionaire?
Billionaire, yeah, billionaire. That's the title.
Is that actually?
Is that an actual title in game? I don't play Animal Crossing.
You have a heal?
Cynthia really wanted to tell me about her Animal Crossing adventures here. She didn't know that I was still casting.
She hears the words Animal Crossing and she's straight into the
She
room.
ran into the room. She's like, someone just hooked me up. And I was like, babe, I'm still casting. She's like, sorry about that, guys. Sorry, chat. My wife got very excited.
It's the occupational hazards that pop up with work casting from home.
Yep. That
My
dog's
dog-
barking in the
I mean,
background.
yeah, my dog has been staring at me for the last like 20 minutes. Like, dude, we need to go for another walk. It's been at least 4 hours.
If you don't let me wee.
He's like, seriously, since this lockdown, you've walked me so much, and now suddenly this game takes its place? How dare you?
Yeah. Why are you like this? God.
Just when I thought things were getting better.
I use my
Return to
smoke.
these old habits.
It was like when Pokemon Go came out, and every dog got confused.
Yeah.
Like, why
They're
am I
like,
being
wait a minute,
walked
we're
about?"
outside all the time now, dude? Yeah, this is great.
I saw some post that was a few days ago on Twitter. It's like, right now is like the opposite of that time when Pokemon Go came out. So it forced everyone outside, and now it's like forcing all the people who are usually outside back indoors.
Yeah, we're just all playing Valorant now, playing Animal Crossing, playing Doom, playing it. Like video games have won the battle here. All right, well, let's talk about Split real fast. This is the new map that was introduced today by Riot, and it is pretty darn good. I quite like it. It's a different type of map though, because what it does, and I think the reason why it's called Split, is because you have high ground and you have low ground, and your high ground is pretty prominent. Where those, and you saw it there on the screen briefly from High Distortion's POV, there are these ropes, these rappels that you're able to hit your action key on. So for me, it's F. For a lot of people, it's F. And you go up the rope, and that will take you up to the high ground in mid. Very, very powerful area in the map to be in, because that area controls both B site and A site. So you want to be able to control it. The issue is, though, that for any of the attackers, they have tunnels on the right side, or not tunnels, but they have clear paths on their respective sides of the map that are pretty impactful, and you can play around them. There's also an underpass too that you can go under and be able to wrap around an entire side of the map. And look at this here, High Distortion. He laid down a few shots there on his opponent. About 130 damage was laid forward. Balulu was there for the pickup. That is going to be match point here, gentlemen. Match point.
And I would say that round was entirely won by Cypher, even though Cypher was down and dead, because the traps were still laid, and even though when Cypher is eliminated, his traps still stay up, and they will still give information to the team. And High Distortion got the info that they were going to be pushing from behind, and it was as simple as just waiting. Okay, he didn't get the 1v2, but he did enough damage to the second player, where his teammate was able to clean it up. And 12v3, imagine this is going to be another Ruffle Stomp, as we seem to get one after another at the moment. But I feel like going into round 3, we are going to get some absolute juicy games.
Yeah, bangers. But only 2 teams from each, so 1 team from each group, 2 teams total can advance to our finals. So there is no 2 teams moving forward. It is only 1 team from each group. But don't worry, don't fret. I'm sure your favorite broadcaster doesn't mind, because they're going to be streaming a whole bunch of Valorant once this thing is over. And I know that we all are as well. What is being grabbed currently by High Distortion is the neutral orb. That neutral orb actually got him right next to his ultimate ability. So yay for him. That works out nicely.
High Distortion's team have really been moving well as a unit as well.
Mm-hmm.
The communication's on point. They've been pushing sites together. They've been clearly, even though I can't hear them, you can tell they're communicating as to when a site's free or which angles they can push, because they confidently step onto site at the right time. And now they can get into a post-plant position that spikes down here.
Yeah. Molotov is placed. Kefri and Dr. Lupo, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's a wrap. No, don't need to say anything else. Pack it up, zip it up, whatever you want to call it. It's over. That was filthy. They just played that beautifully. Honestly, played it beautifully. But another team that has been playing gorgeous Valorant today has been Team Hiko, and so far they continue to do exactly that. Doesn't matter who the competition is.
This is quite a common execute that we're just witnessing as well. Is the Sage Wall to to like barrier off from the
Yeah,
van
U-Haul, 1
to
HP.
the other
Hit him
wall
in the
at the
head.
edge by showers, and then just ensuring you get the bomb plan. No one is going to be able to challenge you as long as you are watching that little space
Not
that
on
Hiko was
Scar.
looking
You don't
at
do that
there.
on Scar, dude. No way.
And you can get the bomb down easily, and then it's just about setting yourself up for post-plant positions. It seems to be almost the meta at the moment already on A side.
Nice round.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and
102 clutter, fix
get a
your
lay
team,
of the
it's
land
fine.
here
We're all
and
just trying to, we're all
kill
trying to
register.
make
That's
Kong
gonna be
and
the
stuff.
round
It's
win.
a little mess, but
2 rounds left
We're signing.
for Team Hiko. They'll be walking away with a victory here in Group A, Round 2. Remember, all the
Rush,
competitors
Hiko.
are currently playing their matches right now, so we're not, waiting for
I'll
matches to
flash for you, even. I'll
conclude.
throw it
They're
through the
all
wall.
playing their games. You can go and check the extension that is on the browser, if you
Yeah, yeah.
or on the screen on the viewport that you can watch the broadcast in. And you can go and follow each individual broadcaster, or just go check out their stream if you're curious about it. Maybe they're playing an agent that you're
I'm
curious
gonna
about,
flash
right?
for you.
Hiko's playing a lot of Breach. That seems to be his main, his go-to. Perhaps you like watching Breach because you want to learn how to play this character.
Call the
Lots
flash.
of utility in the kit too,
I don't want it.
and as well as Phoenix, who's right next to the Breach. Interesting.
There's 2.
They're gonna use the run it back to take over Hookah. Smart use of an ultimate ability, but they won't be able to bail out of it because here comes some explosions from the Raze. And this is where Raze is going to shine, Gaskin. The explosions at Hookah, like any player that's going to be pushing in, you're dealing significant damage. Look how much health and shields Hiko lost there.
Yeah, any small amounts of space where that kind of cluster grenade can
They
bounce
ulted.
around can really do damage, especially if you know that like
He's
5
out.
people are going to be pushing into
He's
one
got
small
it.
area. One grenade could
Should be
weaken
blind
like
if
the
they want.
entire squad, and then suddenly that's an easy cleanup for just like one of your top fraggers. So I think she's going to change the game. I really do. And I know it's crazy to say that after we've only gone from alpha to beta, but with the amount of footage that we've seen, it feels like we've been playing this game for weeks already.
I'm holding heaven. Money stream.
Hiko, I want to be just like you when I grow up.
Have your own plane
Yeah.
that you stream from?
Have my own plane, shoot like that,
Behind the
you
box.
know, hang out at the chillest places,
Eat the finest restaurants.
eat the
Dude,
at the finest restaurants.
his plane clearly hasn't landed in like 4 days.
Dude, it's wild, right? He's been in
He's
this
just
guy for
isolating.
so long.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I tried to do green screen. I'm not saying Hiko's doing a green screen, by the way. He's actually in a plane, just so
He's
everyone
actually-
knows. If you're curious, if you really want to know if Hiko's in a plane, I encourage every one of our viewers to just go to Hiko's chat right now and just ask him, hey, man, are you really in a plane? Golden Boy said you're actually in a plane. He'll tell you he's in a plane. He is. I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to debate you. That Brax dude, that flash. Look at this, man. He's just snapping away like it's some 70s swing movie. She's snapping.
One's bottom.
Deviant. Love it.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a wrap. Should be the game. Should be the match.
Well, the Sova trying to jump and throw down that old. Oh, man, Brax is trying to get away. I think he did get tagged a little bit there, finally. A player by the name of, and I say this with all the seriousness in the world, Young Fart Bubbles finally gets cleaned up there. Young Fart Bubbles is looking to become the next Crusher 99. If anyone gets that reference, then
There are
plus to you.
like a few names that I've always wanted to say on a broadcast, but I feel like now I don't need to say it because you've said it, and I will wait for my next moment.
I think
What
that's
do you
Moxie.
mean? You could have said Young Fart Bubbles if you wanted.
No, you've said it now, so there is no point. I don't need to highlight it. You've done it. You've done your job.
That's his name.
No, you've done your job. Everyone knows his name now. I don't have to say it.
Fair.
I will just say Young.
Listen, man, at this point, dude, I'm just waiting for everyone to learn that I've tricked them all. I have zero talent, and I'm just gonna go on an island when social distancing is over and just chill there for the rest of my life. That's my play. You know that, guys? Look at that there.
Wait, so wow, Skadoodle finishes that one off to win the game. You're telling me that when social distancing's over, you're just gonna go social distance some more?
Bro,
Why
it's all in my
wait?
life, baby.
You know?
Why wait when you could do it now? But there you have it. Dominant showing there from Team Hiko. They are undoubtedly the team to beat. Them and Team TimTheTatman. When that game happens, what will happen to the universe, we truly do not know. Hold your children tightly because worlds will collide and it will be glorious.
Yeah, that is 2-0 now for both TimTheTatman and Hiko in that round. Over in Group B, Jake and Bake beats Amunition to improve to 2-0. And Beanans got the win on Miss Harvey. We saw that one. But Jake and Bake, the IRL streamer right now, is 2-0 in the other group. And we'll see. We'll see how he's still got to go up against Team Beanans. I believe that's the last team he's got to go up against. So if you were to drop that one, we'd have some tiebreaker situations possibly. Could possibly have a three-way tie again. But with the winner of Group A will be either Team Hiko, or TimTheTatman. They face off here in our third round. That will be the hype match. Going through, we got through rounds 1 and 2, and now going into round 3, that top match, that's the important one there. TimTheTatman taking on Hiko. They're both undefeated, 2-0. The other match, they're playing for fun, but doesn't matter. Like, it's all about Hiko versus TimTheTatman and how that one goes here in Group A. The winner will advance to our grand finals here in North America. Everything best of 1. Quite the intense tournament. Now, as we take a look at Group B, we got some important matchups over here as well. It's the possibility of a 3-way tiebreaker, as we've got Miss Harvey taking on Amunition and Beanans taking on Jake and Bake live. So, Jake and Bake, right now, up on top of his group against some amazing, like, career shooter streamers. Surely his team has been a huge part of that as well. It is a team game. It's not just all him, but still very impressive stuff. And can you guys think Jacob Bake makes it out of this? You think this is all right, chat, we are back, and I know you guys got lots of questions about, like, what's happening on here. But I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit of questions too. So someone just gave me an answer. Here's the answer. I'm gonna read it to you. Unfortunately, we're postponing the end of the North American Valorant Showdown due to server login issues impacting the game. We'll be reaching out to players to coordinate a conclusion to the tournament, but for now,